So, today, what I want to talk about very briefly is this concept of red flags versus green flags. One of the things I'm going to have you do before we meet for our workshop is I want you to actually fill out what are potential red flags and green flags. So, we can talk about ways to minimize red flags and maximize your green flags in the process. So let's talk about what a red flag is. In terms of the application and the process, one of the things that may trip you up is a credit check. Many times, a potential employer is going to ask you for a credit check now. Keep in mind that it does require your permission, so you can refuse to do a credit check. Typically, employers will want to do credit checks. They're using it as a way to determine your trustworthiness and whether you're financially responsible. My recommendation here is if you do have something on a credit check, go ahead and disclose that before you give your permission. That's again going to help determine your trustworthiness right at the beginning. Another potential red flag is a large gap in unemployment. There are many reasons this may happen. You may have taken time off work to raise your family. Perhaps you had health issues or you went back to school. Um, Especially in our economic climate, you probably faced some job instability. A third red flag is poor attendance. This is going to be a problem because it shows that you may be unreliable. If this is an issue for you because you have a conflicting family schedule, you're really going to want to target your job search towards positions that give you more flexible scheduling. Again, these are things I want you to identify, and we can work on how you minimize these in the workshop. And lastly, a potential red flag is if you change jobs frequently, every 1 to 2 years, for example. This alarms an employer because they're worried about investing a large sum of money in you for training and then you leave and taking those skills someplace else. Employers want longevity because it does take money to rehire and it takes time to retrain your replacement. Substance abuse is also a very important red flag. Um, Substance abuse can affect your job performance. It also demonstrates some instability. What I recommend with substance abuse is disclose as well as how did you actually deal with your substance abuse problem. Criminal history, again, employee theft is a major problem. If you have a criminal history, this puts you at a security risk. Did you have problems with the previous employer? A potential employer is going to ask, was the problem with you or with your previous employer? Was it due to a communication problem? Was it an ethical issue? Perhaps your previous employer did something unethical and yet you're the one who took the blame. This could also be around cultural differences. So again, I want you to identify these. And lastly, were you fired? This is always difficult to overcome. It never looks good. It will stay in the employer's mind, and some employers may not even consider you if you've been fired. So those are some negatives, but let's look at some positive because green flags are really important as well. And you'll notice that the second sheet is a green flag worksheet. So what are some green flags? Well, the first is your work history. This demonstrates longevity. It shows you're not new to the industry. You can show that you left on good terms. And if you have few or no gaps in your work history, these all play to your strengths. Are you flexible? This could be something like seasonal shift work. It shows you're able to handle multiple responsibilities and that you can shift priorities. So, this is again something that employers think as a positive. Customer service. I don't care what your industry is. If you have a background in customer service, it's really going to help you. Because when you're working in home health, or really the medical industry at large, you are working in the eye of the public. Can you handle the stress of your clients as well as your coworkers? Are you able to keep your clients happy? These are going to be really important skills that can transfer from a customer service career right into a medical career. Do you have a variety of skills? This is always going to be a benefit for you. This shows that you can perform other duties as needed. It may allow you the opportunity to manage or train others. And it shows that you're familiar with a bunch of processes. Again, in the medical field, you're going to come up with things that you don't expect. And so being able to show your variety of skills is really going to enhance your interview process. Something I always recommend. Do you have excellent resources, references? This is personal and professional. I always recommend three personal references. These are people who have personal relationships with you. More than that, you really do need three professional references. In today's market, very few employers will actually disclose much about your previous work experience. But one question they usually will answer is, would they hire you back? And if your professional references would absolutely hire you back, this is just going to demonstrate a very good, strong work history. Belonging to professional associations are important. I would find out what professional associations are appropriate for your industry. It shows that you are in that industry, that you have the ability to build professional relationships, that you're familiar not just with this part of the job, but with all of them. It also demonstrates that for you, this is not just a job, it's actually a career. Having some kind of education, professional certification, or degree is very good. It shows that you are personally invested in what you're doing. It demonstrates you're interested in longevity. It also gives you the ability to be promoted within the organization. And again, a lot of recommendation. I cannot demonstrate just how important this is. This is someone else bragging about you and your skills. It indicates where your strengths lie, your devotion to what you do. Make sure it's a credible recommendation, however. And it's much better if your letter of recommendation comes from a professional reference. Those are the red flags and the green flags. Fill out those worksheets, and when you come in, we can talk about how to minimize your red flags and how to maximize your green flags. Thank you, and I'll see you at our workshop. Bye bye.